Look, I'm sure what you meant is, let's not communicate until one of us feels like openly recording a message revealing all the secrets that we're not communicating about. Like, what are you doing? Hail, Internet! It's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about Obi Wan Kenobi, Season 1, Episode 5, Part 5. We open with a flashback to Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan in a lightsaber sparring match.
Yes, it's finally worth it for him to be in this show.
The prequels have arrived. We refer back to moments from this particular training session throughout the episode. It appears in this first one that it's Vader reminiscing about the good old days with Obi-Wan, because we come to him in the present, and he bestows the title of Grand Inquisitor on Reva. We end with our heroes escaping, the Grand Inquisitor magically reappearing, Vader defeating Reva but not killing her, instead wounding her like he did during Order 66, leaving her to die, which of course she won't. She then watches a very convenient message from Bail Organa, which we'll talk about, realizing that Uncle Owen's got a boy who's very important. It appears that Obi-Wan senses that she finds this information out, or that Luke is in trouble, in danger in some way. And so we finish with a shot of little Luke asleep in his bed on Tatooine. Paul.
Yes?
What'd you think of episode 5?
So I liked it. I definitely did. Although, since it's the 5th of 6 episodes, there is some creep coming in where it's sort of like, okay, so this is what it is. It's not going to be anything more than
okay.
There's only one episode, left. We'll see if it gets the second season. But yeah, so it's like, okay, it's not going to be anything more than this, but that's okay. There were things to enjoy about it. It's fun to see Darth Vader, and I like Obi-Wan, and so and this is a decent, I think, excursion. So I liked it.
All right. It was good that we finally got the Anakin Obi-Wan flashback that we were promised. So they delivered on that. It wasn't just a cameo. And we might see more of that even in episode 6. But delivery check. I thought that it was an interesting scene. Since Anakin still has both of his hands in that, we can assume that this training session is occurring before Attack of the Clones. So it's somewhere in there.
Oh right, yes, of course.
And we see, as we see.
Yeah, he's fairly good-natured. Something about losing his hands is probably going to really,
That's right. It's kind of a rite of passage in Star Wars. Oh, there goes the hand. All right, now I'm a legit character. But we see both men reminiscing on this event, which ended with Obi-Wan apparently disarmed, using the Force to take Anakin's lightsaber, and then telling him, these meaningful words, which your need to prove yourself is your undoing. Until you learn to overcome it, a Padawan you will still be. Which almost sounds like Yoda speak there, but anyway.
Sure it does, yeah.
Which is maybe how they're going to try to justify the line from A New Hope, where, in that moment we have, when Vader confronts Obi-Wan, he says, like, when last we met, I was but a learner. Now I am the master. Now, obviously, since this distant flashback, there's been a couple of fights, and there might even be one more. But is he basically saying, like, I finally stopped needing to prove myself? Like, this is it. You're right. It took me all this time to figure it out. Now I'm a well-adjusted supervillain. I'm comfortable in my own rivets, so I'm good. Thank you for that advice. Now I can kill you. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that or not, but your need to prove yourself is your undoing. That seems to be this. He calls out this flaw in Darth Vader's character. Do we see that rippled out anywhere?
To be honest with you, I feel like all this, he had it in him to become evil. When he was fighting him, he's like, I'm clearly trying to beat you. But if this is a thing, I'd be trying to kill you. I mean, and of course, I mean, it's not just in Star Wars. I guess the whole idea about martial arts can be, like, am I defending or am I trying to...
Right, and Obi-Wan mentions that, right? Like, hey, Jedi, we're supposed to defend, we're not trying to take lives.
We're not trying to kill, but he's just like, well, what does he say? You can't win with mercy or something? He says, it's sort of like, who's teaching you?
I'll say this. I mean, they were going at it, right? Like,
yeah.
And training that hard with actual lightsabers seems like a bad idea. Look, we lost 3 more Jedi today in training.
But here's the thing, though, that occurs to me about not so much this, as though a little bit of it, but more in terms of the final battle between Reva and Darth Vader. Is that, she's attacking him and trying to hit him, and he's using the Force. So, like, why would you ever use a lightsaber if you can just beat some idiot around? It's like, I don't know why what he didn't do was, you would only have a lightsaber, I guess, just to pull somebody into the lightsaber. Like, it's like that. Otherwise, the Force is so useful. It's just like,
I'm guessing, I mean, if I were to, put the positive spin on that situation, I would say maybe it's that he's so good at it that for him, he probably doesn't need a lightsaber. But maybe for like a typical Jedi, they're like, I'm not that good at going telekinesis that I have to actually use a weapon. But you're right, he does make it look particularly easy, which is I like that dichotomy. But then also when he takes both lightsabers, of course, he does the same trick that Obi-Wan did to him, and then he like force pulls the second lightsaber to him.
Yes.
And he's holding both of them. I was like, I didn't think Reva was going to die. But if I had thought Reva was going to die, I would have thought he was going to do the same decapitation trick that he did with Count Dooku back in the day.
And to be honest, it's one of those, like, wow, if only maybe your plan would have gone better in the next episode, because of course you're going to fail if you had only killed Reva. Like the way you've been ruthless before. It's like, is this showing mercy?
Yeah, it really is.
No, it's
I mean, it's
like you're showing mercy. It's like, no, trust me, it's much worse to leave her in a gutter.
A, she wasn't actually in a gutter.
No.
B, she's got her faculties. She obviously she moves because she goes and grabs the communicator, which we'll talk about. But basically, in their minds, they're like, well, we demoted you, so that's as bad as you can get. Like, no, actually, she can. There's a lot of ways she could still hurt you if she wanted to. But okay, no, you're right. She's completely, you defanged her. I don't know.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
The de-aging for the thing was so-so, but I'm fine with it. It wasn't perfect, but I get the idea. You got 2 actors. You want to use them. They're decades away from these roles.
Yep.
My suspension of disbelief was fine. It was fine. It didn't bother me at all.
Perfectly adequate.
Great call for you on Tala. You matted her a week ago.
Yes.
Boom! She takes herself out
with
a thermal detonator.
Yeah, she'd just finished watching Aliens.
I mean, the communication thing with Bail Organa. I mean, he's an idiot, right? Yeah. I mean, he's an idiot.
Yes.
He even starts his message with the line, I wrote it down because I was so like, what? I know we said no communication, but your silence worries me.
Yeah.
That's one of the dumbest rationales in Star Wars, I think. Look, I'm sure what you meant is, let's not communicate until one of us feels like openly recording a message revealing all the secrets that we're not communicating about. Like, what are you doing? Oh my God.
I know you said let's not communicate, but what if I want to spoil the chances of my daughter living? Come on.
It's also weird how you said let's not communicate, and then you're not communicating. I'm suspicious.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
When we talked about that, I didn't realize that, maybe it's because you're dead. In which case, I want to give all the plans to the people who killed you.
That's true.
So that they can come and kill me. And anybody that I may have been hiding. So, here you go.
And my adopted daughter, yeah. I mean, all of the good things that Bale has done, he was in the prequels, he's been in other shows, like, all the stuff he's done in the saga, I would argue almost get wiped out by this movie. This is outrageously stupid and careless.
Yes.
And of course it's going to lead Reva and apparently Obi-Wan back to Tatooine for the finale. Because freaking Bail Organa couldn't keep his freaking mouth closed. Even if he wanted to communicate.
It's like, what actually should happen is not Reva going to Tatooine to ruin their plans. She should just go smack him across his face, and like, Vader, I could have helped you. I'm not going to help you.
Right.
And now why don't you kill me?
It's true that her motivation has now apparently changed. I mean, she knows this information. And if she hadn't been the Grand Inquisitor yet, if she hadn't been betrayed again by Vader yet, then she probably would have been like, here's my chance to get in good with Vader. Obviously, she doesn't care about that anymore. So we're not sure what her motivation is, but maybe she sees it as a bargaining chip where she can still have Vader drop his guard again. But
I feel like the only thing that exists now is some sort of Deus Ex Machina. Where she can come in and save the day now, or something. That's the only thing I can think.
Unless, I don't think this is what's happening, but I guess in some ways, she might still harbor resentment to Obi-Wan, and maybe this is like a revenge against Obi-Wan. I mean, she does seem to come into a meeting of the minds with him, but then in this episode, he leaves her again to be stabbed again by Vader.
It's like, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to kill the people responsible. It's really Darth Vader, but since I can't really kill him...
Yeah, since he's really tough to kill.
I can probably kill you, so I'll settle for that.
Well, there's that moment in this episode when, so Obi-Wan senses, he figures out the backstory that most people had figured out. Oh, she was a youngling. Yes. She saw Anakin at the Order 66. In fact, he stabbed her. But so that's how she knows everything. But so he figures that out. He's like, I can recruit you to help me deal with Vader. And so she says, what makes you think he won't see it coming?
Yep.
And he's like, I know Vader. You're right. He's not going to see it. Not going to see it.
No, he just sees me. That's all he sees.
So anyway, I'm going to now leave.
It's like that pitcher, I guess, that the Yankees or whatever figured out how he was tipping his hand. It's like, people can get smarter occasionally. Like, the whole thing has been based on the fact that, Darth Vader can't change. He's always impulsive. Yep. But, there are all those times when he can do the long con. He's like, Reva, that's that kid that I stabbed years ago. Oh, you want a job? Okay. Like, you can become an Inquisitor. Sure. Like, but no, apparently all along, Vader saw it coming, and then finally, like, okay, now you're going to attack me? Okay.
The rationale appears to be, like, they used her hate to their advantage or whatever. I don't know.
Because the other people were just too dumb. They couldn't come up with her plans.
So anyway, she could theoretically still feel abandoned by Obi-Wan again. I don't know. I don't know if that's probably not where they're going with it.
I feel like what they're gonna do is they're gonna make it seem like she can go to mess it up, and then the last minute you'll see that no, her plan all along was to do good before she dies.
She actually kills Bail Organa to, like, shut him up. Like, look, you are the weak link in this I did my job. All right.
What's your feeling? Do you think she's you gonna mad her? No.
No, I don't think so. Especially because we've also heard that apparently there's talk of a spinoff.
A spinoff? Okay.
I mean, I guess it could be a prequel style spinoff. Like, what's early in her life? But
yeah, but I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think she survives.
Right.
It is a little weird. So, in terms of where our heroes and villains are placed as we go into the finale. So Obi-Wan and Leia are on this ship, but the ship doesn't have a hyperdrive, and they're being chased by the bad guys.
Right.
Which would include Vader, one would think. Yeah, because he left with him. So Vader is chasing Obi-Wan, and they're not going to Tatooine.
Right.
But Obi-Wan realizes, oh my God, Luke's in danger. I need to get to Tatooine. So he's got to divert course, take a shuttle or something to get. I don't know. I don't know how he goes from here back to Tatooine. So there's that issue, and then Reva, who is not mortally injured, just injured. Realizes this thing on Tatooine. We see that Luke's sleeping, so the implication is she's headed there. So she's headed straight to Tatooine. Obi-Wan, I mean, it's just interesting because he's going to have to. You would feel as a Jedi, he's going to feel responsible for these refugees. That if he'd left them, then they all got killed off. That he's like, oh, so maybe it's this. Okay, I just thought of this. Maybe he thinks. He's still on the idea of like, well, Vader will just chase me and he won't care about you guys.
Yeah, I was thinking that too when you were talking.
So he diverts, he distracts Vader. Yeah. The refugees get away, but his distraction leads back to Tatooine, so Vader ends up on Tatooine. That sounds very canonically dangerous, but okay. Like, is Vader gonna hang out with Luke at some point? Like, oh, this child might be a good recruit one day. What's your last name? Oh, anyway, gotta run.
Or maybe does a WC Fields, kids.
I just feel like in some way Obi-Wan gets back to Tatooine. Reva's going to be on Tatooine. Where's Vader going to be? That's my question.
Sure.
I can't imagine that they put him back on Tatooine, frankly. But so if not,
what do we? In terms of what we know comes afterwards, I feel like one of the things that should occur is for him to believe he's dead.
Vader to
believe that Obi-Wan is dead. Yeah, because otherwise he just should decide. Oh well, I guess I'm not going to pursue him anymore. I can't imagine there are more seasons of this. Like, wow, did we catch him in Star Wars when he just, evaded Vader's capture again and came back to Tatooine or something? Was he left unwatched all this time, or no? He's supposed to be left there all alone, and Vader shouldn't be interested in.
Okay, I like that. Maybe they find some way to stage Obi-Wan's death. As we speculated, the Grand Inquisitor is back. They gave no explanation for it.
No, not at all.
Which I guess is, as opposed to giving some BS answer, I guess no answer is fine.
That's right.
I have a virtual back-to-tank. There. Solved. But yeah.
Maybe one of the good things about being in the Empire is really good health care.
You're right, though, that whole thing about how we knew Reva was bad all along, but we just played this incredibly long con. It does feel like that's pretty convenient for the plot. It's like, you gave her a lot of responsibility. There was a lot of ways she could have gone wrong in there. That was it. They were brilliant.
Yes.
But not so brilliant that they didn't kill her off so she can come back and haunt them. But it's certainly not in them to win her over at any point. They always have this sort of, pit all these people against each other or whatever. Yep. So they had no chance of sort of like, you know what? Darth Vader's not so bad. He stabbed me when I was a kid, but he's misunderstood. He's killed all my friends.
That can happen.
Accidents. When you fight with those lightsabers, I know in training we killed so many guys. Never bothered to maybe come up with all this amazing tech they have. Maybe a non-lethal lightsaber for training purposes? Okay, no.
Shoot, we have that now, right? These kids can buy little toys that go thong, 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 and hit each other. Sheesh.
No, but that was.
I guess this is the present day and not the long time ago. You're right. They didn't have the technology back then.
Yeah, they had interstellar travel, but they didn't have non-lethal
Plastic
lightsaber.
Yeah.
Anyway, anyway, we're setting up for the finale. I think I think Luke is going to be involved. I still feel we're getting a Qui-Gon. I'm still up on the Qui-Gon idea, and I think actually it would be a pretty revelatory moment, not just like a fun cameo. I think at this moment, what we've seen in this season, in fact, is the sense that Obi-Wan carries this guilt, personal guilt, whether deserved or not, but this personal guilt at failing Anakin and thus failing the universe. And so I think having a conversation with Qui-Gon, the guy who made him promise to train Anakin, will in some way kind of assuage that guilt that he's feeling. I think it'll be a step forward in Obi-Wan to the Obi-Wan that we see, who's still hopeful in A New Hope and is still doing his best to keep Luke safe and all that stuff. So I think that moment would be an important plot moment. So I'm hoping we see that in the finale.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right. Well, we'll be back talking about the finale and also future episodes of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds.
Yeah.
So, thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good
you're
sir.
Welcome. No problem.
And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.